Hey everyone. So part of the reason why I'm making this video is because I was telling to you about some instances of teams that happened I think 2 days ago. Some instances of teams that happened like 2 days ago, and pretty much just based on what I was describing, people um, largely didn't believe me, despite usually believing me about what I say about this. And so I decided, since I did record the clips to send the support later, I'll just what do you call it, upload this in a video just to show as evidence that what I was saying was true. But yeah, it's not really the main thing I want to talk about. I just want to be here just so that people know that I was being honest. So I've been watching the final series or like season of Fairy Tale recently, and while I was watching, I actually noticed that I have a weird pattern of really not liking finales of different series. It's happened with what do you call it, Harry Potter. It's happened with Gravity Falls. Like it sort of comes to the point where I don't even watch them. Like with both Harry Potter and Gravity Falls, I missed. Well, I didn't miss. I skipped the last movie and episodes respectively because I had already lost interest at that point. And I am sort of noticing this with Fairy Tale too. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone because like I know that like it's not even finished yet, so of course there are people who are probably not caught up on it who will probably want to be able to see it. I will probably specifically mention other seasons of like specific events in earlier parts of Fairy Tale. So if you want to put spoilers on that, that's basically my only warning. But a major thing that people criticize Fairy Tale for overall is the whole theme of like the power of friendship, and like I get that. Like I'm not a fan of that theme either, but in my opinion, it doesn't really take away from what else is enjoyable about the series. And so that's why it used to actually be my favorite anime. It's now pretty much tied for third favorite with Pokemon behind Naruto and Sword Art Online. And oh yeah, and people have been spoiling the Pokemon thing. Like people assume that people like don't really care about Pokemon spoilers. So like I was subscribed to someone, and like he just had like this major spoiler right in the thumbnail. I don't know how many people are trying to avoid it, but yeah, it like I didn't expect Pokemon spoilers to be like so hard to avoid. Like I was just watching the Sun and Moon series, pretty much on and off, and then suddenly I get this, and I'm like, oh, well, that basically doesn't really like it's not really gonna ruin the series for me because thanks to like the way Pokemon structured, a spoiler like that isn't really too harmful. It's it's like in between the severity of like spoiling a series like Naruto and then spoiling a series like SpongeBob. Like it's in between there. You're not really. It's not really gonna like ruin like the whole event of the season for you. But it's not like it's that like one part is going to have like no effect on the other parts either. So like it's fine, but it's disappointing. But anyway, that's kind of off topic. So like I think I was saying something about like a whole thing of like the power of friendship, which I don't think is really taken. I don't think really takes away from like the other things that are enjoyable about the show, and I think oftentimes they do it well too, where it's like where because like something that a lot of people like to joke around about is how like they gain power from friendship, which I think is sort of true. Like I think they do like try to like imply that or say that and stuff, but at the same time, they're not uh they're not necessarily like solving things because of it. Like it happens sometimes. Like think I think the battle between Urza and Azuma was basically that. Or I think better yet, Urza and Kyoka. I don't even know if it was necessarily the power of friendship, but it was like, uh, I do agree with like the whole notion that Urza is very largely plot armor. Like he barely largely uses plot armor like more than like any other member. But you know, so there are instances where like yeah, it is disappointing like that, but I think largely it's sort of the case where like where for example where Natsu and Lizzie were fighting that guy with the cursed doll, where they won because of good strategy, like they used it against them, and yeah, basically you get what I mean, like it could take away sometimes, I guess, but really it's just like it's all right. It's passable in many ways. But what I'm finding with like the final season is that that's really been taken up a notch. Where like where like this is how the where like this is how they're supposed to be winning battles, and like there is some strategy in it too. I think the fight that Gajul had in the I think it was like one of the first. I think it was the first major fight that Gajul had in this arc. Uh, where like I think he did win that because of strategy and stuff. Uh, Same can probably be said about maybe I don't know. It's hard to think of examples, but like it's much easier to think of examples where they are winning because of friendship. Like for example, at this point, this was like Natsu's last major fight, so like you'd probably see this around like episode 45 or whatever, if I'm remembering correctly. And so like you'll see that just pretty much thanks to like pure friendship, Natsu has more raw power. Like he needed a certain amount of raw power to do something in a certain way, and he just got like this immense amount of power. Like I think even like more than like his dragon force or whatever. So he got like this like immense amount of power. Then I mean, what am I trying to say? He got this immense amount of power from pretty much friendship factor. Like that was pretty much the explanation too. And like it sort of made sense in a way. Like again, I don't really want to spoil it, except for the fact that he won with friendship basically, and so it's really annoying. Uh, because like I can understand that as a sort of theme, but you know like the way that they handled it before was in a way where like it didn't uh take away from other things, and now it's just like it is the show. I guess it's sort of worth like mentioning like Pokemon, where like Pokemon has this, but like they sort of give an explanation as to like why it's good in a way. Like it's not because like happiness necessarily makes one stronger. Although that is the case with like, maybe like one or two different attacks. Like I know that there's a return. Uh, but really it's like what the one will do because of their bond and stuff. And that's sort of um and like that's sort of like been increasing like the later seasons, like in what do you call it? Generation 6, where like they introduced mega evolutions, like, a strong bond was necessary for that. But like at the same time, at least it makes sense, and at least it's not like the main factor where like their friendship is just giving them a raw power boost. And so like it's actually satisfying to see how they still have to come up with different strategies and stuff to win the battles that they need to. And I'm thinking that that sort of like increase of like central themes, like I think maybe like a hyper focus on central theme, like that, like power of friendship or whatever it is. I think that's what really uh, causes my disinterest in like series finales, where like you can really see like even like before like the finales like happen, you can see that like it's building up to a point like just beyond what it was before, and oftentimes it just takes away from other aspects that are probably enjoyable, or even like the main enjoyment for a lot of people. And then they decide that that they just need to go bigger on like their main thing. And then I think a lot of people that are there for the central theme would be really happy about that. But I think what makes something popular actually popular is that it attracts a wide variety of people. And so you focus on the central theme, and then you understand the people who are really in it for the central theme, and then the people who like it for other reasons are basically just there, like yeah, that's happening, and don't really care for it. Now that's not just like the way I see. Well, sort of is, but it's also based on some videos I watched where like I think I need to check the YouTube channel name. Hello Future Me. There we go. If I remember correctly, there was a video from Hello Future Me that I watched, where like he sort of talked about this, especially like in the context of Avatar: Legend of Korra, because like he really likes talking about Avatar. He says it's like the best series in the world, and from what he says, I can really see why. I really need to like actually watch it myself. But he was talking about like just like the major disappointing factor of like the Legend of Korra season finale, where like they sort of just like went like all like bigger is better, and like they just like basically did things that didn't really otherwise make sense, except for the sake of just going bigger, basically. And yeah, it seems to be like just like the mistake a lot of people make, where like that's just like the mindset that they're in. But like I'm talking as if I have like a point, but like kind of think that I really don't really have like a point to end on. I just really wanted to talk about how it was weird how like I'm at a point where I pretty much just avoid the ends of series for the most part. Like I don't consistently do it. There are definitely like tons of series that not tons of series, but fair share of series that I finish and stuff, because well they don't like lose my interest beforehand. other times, I'll finish it and then like I'll sort of wish that I didn't watch the ending. Well, not that I wish I didn't, but like I'll just be disappointed by the ending, like with what happened with Seven Deadly Sins, for example, where like I actually really liked that series, like most of the episodes, but like both of the finales, like not even like necessarily the final episodes, like maybe like the final like two episodes, maybe. Uh, they both like disappointed me. And of course, it's like first two seasons. I think there might be a third season now, but I don't know. I haven't really cared to finish it. I think similar case with My Hero Acad. Well, not really similar case with My Hero Academia, but like I think it's sort of worth mentioning that like it sort of falls into like this a power of friendship or like willpower problem, and like a lot of people just don't really criticize it for that, while they criticize other anime that do it less. At least as far as I've seen. I don't watch a ton of anime. Like I'm still in the middle of a lot of series, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But like so many people criticize just the fact that a lot of people that a lot of characters like will gain raw power in order to win a fight, and they'll just be disappointed by that. But when I saw the fight with Deku versus Muscular, I had that very disappointment where like you know I was thinking of like I was there thinking of like cool ways that he could possibly win, right? Where like maybe he tries like grappling tactics or whatever, and like it would be a long explanation if I really explained like my whole like explanation for that. But I figured that it could be really cool. Like it was really being built up as like the way it was like being built up like during the fight. Like I really expected it to like end like just incredibly well and satisfying. But then I think uh I think what does he do? I think he remembers that like All Might can go beyond like his normal power, just like by will, and then he decides to do that, and so that's really just how he wins. Like they had like the right stakes and everything, but their solution was just like more power. And you know I haven't found anybody else who hates that yet. Like I haven't even found anyone like who like really like dislikes it at all. Everyone just like loves that fight from like what I've from like just people I've talked to and like videos I've watched. Like I seem to be like the only one who hates that. It's like it's like these are the same people who like criticize supposedly every fairy tale fight for just being like someone's force of will or power of friendship, when like this is very much the same thing. So yeah, that's sort of like off the topic I want to talk about, but it's related, and I think it was something that needed to be said. I guess also some related. I was of course watching Max Durant again. I remember him saying something that sort of interested me, like on that subject, where like he was talking to someone, and they had a like similar interest in music, I think, or something, or like they were just talking about music, and and basically, this person he was talking to criticized a certain band for doing something, which another band that said person loved actually did the same thing. And so, like, Max basically said that he pointed that out, and then he was pretty much just immediately blocked because of that. So, it sort of makes me wonder, like, how common like that sort of like hypocrisy really is. Because like I think it's something that like you see a lot, but like it's the sort of thing that you notice when it happens. You don't really notice when it doesn't happen. Like how many times do you notice when someone isn't hypocritical? And so I'm wondering if it's like really as common as it seems to be, or if it's just like because like it really seems to be common. Like it seems like everyone is like criticizing like Fairy Tail, Naruto, and stuff for these reasons when like they love My Hero Academia, ignoring like the same things. And that's not the only instance where My Hero Academia has done it too. If you want, I'll make another video about it because I really like pointing out hypocrisy. Really, it's like one of my favorite things to do because it's like it's so easy to do and um, basically I get something very entertaining for like my time spent. So yeah, if you want another video about this, I'll gladly make it because I just find it funny. But yeah, that's all for now. I still don't know what series this video is gonna go to.